All right, friends. Let's get this taken care of so then we can move on and you guys can work on your projects and your homework. Okay. All right. So this is our last chapter on graphs. Yay! Y'all look super excited.
Nathan, I didn't even give you one, did I?
You didn't give Nathan one?
No, I didn't. Normally I leave him last and then like act like I'm not giving him one and then give him one. I totally forgot.
Nathan.
He got one now. I mean, he probably got up and got it himself.
Did you get up and get one yourself?
Yeah. I do that all the time. I'm sorry.
F.
I'm sorry.
Devin gets an F on his chapter 8 test just because.
Hold up! No, I do not. Not a 0. I cannot take that.
All right. So we have different types of relationships. Okay. Section 8.2 in all of chapter 8 is now directed graphs. So now we still have edges, but these edges now have direction.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, we focus.
Say hi, Jonathan. Jonathan, we left you some notes right there, okay?
You loud. I heard you all the way down the hallway.
I'm loud?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. All right. So our edges now have direction, which means we're now adding in arrows. Okay. So I figured the best way to start this off is he or she loves me, he or she loves me not. Okay, so you got a boy and a girl. Okay. If the boy and girl are both in love, that means that the boy likes the girl and the girl likes the boy.
I can't stand myself.
Most of us can't stand you either, but we love you.
Get over.
Okay? Then you've got those, creepy relationships where, that girl's like, hey, I like you. Hey, I like you. And you're just like, eh. Okay? So, that's then you've got those creepy boys that go, hey, sweet thing. Hey, how you doing? And you're just like, ew. Okay? So, that's the direction of the boy likes the girl. But the girl's like, stalker, go away. Okay? Or, like Zoe and Gianni, ew. And Gianni's like, ew. Okay? So, they don't like each other, which means there is no relationship, so there is no direction. Okay? So, that's what we're about to get into. So, with that being said, come on, remote. Still like turn on. There we go. No? Oh. Whoa. Okay. So, that leads me into digraphs. Okay. Digraphs have direction. So, digraph is a graph in which edges have direction. That first blank is your edges now have direction. So, instead of calling them edges now, we call them arcs. Okay? The direction that your arc goes, it always starts at your starting vertex, and it goes to an ending vertex. So if I tell you my arc is X, Y, that means X is my start and Y is my finish. So my arrow starts at X and it points to Y. If I tell you my arc is YX, that means we start at Y and it points to X. So now you have to be careful when you label your edges. They have to go from start to end in the direction of the arrow. So we can list something called an arc set. Your arc set is a list of all of your edges. So, Devin, give me one edge for my graph.
A-D.
A to E.
E to A. I'm sorry.
E to A. Okay. Devin realized he can't use A to E because the arrow points from E to A. So I've got an edge that goes from E to A. Hey Zeus, give me another one. Give me another arc from this picture.
A to B.
A to B. James, give me another arc in this picture.
D to E.
D to E. Sacramento, give me an arc in this picture.
A to D.
He said A to D. Eduardo, give me an arc in this picture. D to C. Nehemiah, give me an arc in this picture.
C to B.
C to B.
B to D.
My last one is B to D. I don't know why we gotta, make it sound so angry. Questions on that so far? Okay. So, they like to use this term in this chapter called incidence. Incidence is the relationship of vertices and the direction of arcs. So, if it says A is incident to B,
So A goes to B.
A goes to B.
Hey.
As an arc set, this would be A, B. Because A is my start, B is my finish. It says E is incident from. Well, if incident to is A to B, incident from is going to go
E
in
to E.
reverse.
Reverse.
Okay? So incident from is reversal. So we're going D to E, which means as an arc set, it's written DE. So notice, if it's incident to, my letter's first. If it's incident from, my letter's second. If it's incident to, that letter's first. And if it's incident from, that means my letter's second. Questions? Okay. So, based on digraph 1. So I just recopied that picture. Okay, so everything's on the same slide, so we're not flipping back and forth. It says B is incident to.
C.
So
No.
B is incident to C.
No.
Is there an arrow that goes from B to C?
No.
No.
Yes. Yes, two.
B does not go to C. Is D incident from A? So in other words, does A lead to D? Yes. There's an arrow that connects A to D. List all of the vertices incident to D. So what are all of the
D, C,
vertices that lead yourself to D? What are all the ones that lead
3.
into D?
No, 2.
A to D and B to D.
A to D leads into D, and B to D leads into D. So your answers here are A and B.
Is that you have to put A, D, B, D?
That's fine.
Okay.
A, D, B, D, it's the same thing. Okay. So, notice I'm drawing arrows as I'm reading the question. B is incident to, so that means I'm going this way. Incident from goes in reverse. If you need to draw those arrows so you understand and grasp the concept, do it. Okay, there's nothing against it. Complete the statement. B is incident from.
A and C.
So, what goes to B?
A and C.
A goes to B, and C goes to B. So C goes into B, and A goes into B. Okay. Adjacent arcs. The starting vertex of one arc is the ending vertex of another. Okay. So in other words, they have to be side by side. And they have to lead one into the other. So, my first one that they want us to look at, C to B and B to D. Would you say these two are adjacent?
No. Yes.
Is it one path?
No. It's two parts. Go up and down.
Right, but it's one path. I can draw that whole thing without lifting my pencil, correct? I can go boom, boom, without lifting my pencil. So yes, these are adjacent. Okay, take a look at the next one. We've got A to B and A to D. Can I travel both of those without lifting my pencil?
No.
No. Okay, I would be able to if this went backwards. If it went from B to A and A to D, but both of these are leaving A, so they're not adjacent. I can't go with the flow here. Okay, if I go this way, I'm stuck. If I go this way, I'm stuck. So this is a no. Okay, A to B and C to B.
Yes. That's adjacent.
Be careful though. How are the arrows pointing?
They're opposite, but I
They're
thought
pointing opposite. So can I go from here like this and continue on? No, I can't go backwards up an arrow. I also can't start here and go backwards this way. I have to go in the direction of the arrow. So this one is also no. Last one, E to A and D to E.
Yes. Yes, Jason.
Yes, these ones are adjacent. I can start at D and follow my arrow to E and then follow my arrow to A without lifting. Okay.
Hold on, why is we doing 8.2 then 8.1?
Because it makes sense better this way. I'd totally lose you if you tried to do 8.1 before 8.2.
So why didn't they put it? They're dumb. That's what they are. She said I have.
Okay, so you've basically just done this. A path. A path means that I can start at any point, follow my arrows, and land at the point they want me to land on without lifting my pencil. Okay? The lines that I trace is the length of my path. So it says it wants us to find 3 paths that go from D to B. So if I start at D, what's one path that I can take without lifting my pencil?
E, A, B.
Okay? You said I can go from D to E, not lifting, to A, not lifting, to B. So my first one is D to E to A to B. How many arcs did I trace?
3.
Remember when we said if I had 4 letters, it was one shorter?
Yeah.
that still applies here. Okay? Give me another one.
CD.
D to C, not lifting. To B, not lifting. So we're at D going to C that went to B. This has a length of 2. Can anybody find me the third one?
D to E to A to D to C to D.
Okay, hold on. Do that again.
D to
D to E
A
to A
to D
to D
to C to B.
to C to B. Okay, that's a nice long one. So he went from D to E to A to D to C and to B. So that should be a length of
5, 4.
5.
Oh, 5.
We went 1, 2,
That's
3,
not bad.
4, 5. And again, I've got 6 letters when I listed that out, which means my path should be a length. Okay, so path, that doesn't change. I still go from one point to a different point. Okay? Then, of course, you know, with a path comes a circuit. But now we call it a cycle. Okay? So it's a path that starts and ends at the same vertex. So
Like A back to A.
my example wants me to start at A and figure out a way to get back there without lifting my pencil. Okay.
A, D, B, A, D.
Okay? I can go A to D. D then leads to E. And E then leads back to A. A, D, E, A, length of 3.
And then you can do A, B, D, E, A. That's 2.
Okay? Devin said I can start at A. That leads to B, which then leads to D, which then leads to E, which then leads to A. A, B, D, E, A. Length of.
We'll do it again.
So a path. One starting point, a different ending point. Cycle, gotta go back.
No, you can do 3. I don't have to do 0.
Question. Anybody still need this up? Okay. We still have degrees in this chapter.
We have everything else right now.
We do.
I thought you said we didn't repeat.
Right.
It's not necessarily that it. It's kind of like learning the same concept over and over again.
We really are.
We just add a
Different
little bit of
things.
something to each one. Okay, so degree. We now have 2 different types. We have an out degree and we have an in degree. So, in other words, the number of arcs for which the vertex is the starting vertex is my out degree. If I list it as an arc set, which we already talked about, your letters should be listed first. So in other words, they want to know, if you look at your graph, how many lines are pointing out from A?
2.
If I look at my graph, I've got this line's pointing out and this line's pointing out. I have 2. Look at B. How many lines are pointing out?
1.
B.
1.
I'm so glad.
Okay. C.
1.
1. I mean, at least it makes sense. Out. Pointing out.
2, 1, 1, 2, 1.
Okay. You said D is 2.
Yeah.
I've got 1 and 2 lines pointing out of D.
1 and a
2.
and one line pointing out of E. So if the out degrees, how many lines are pointing out? Your in degrees, how many lines are pointing in? Which means the number of arcs, which the vertex is the ending vertex. And in the arc set, the vertex is listed second. It's my end. So how many lines are pointing in to A? 1. How many lines are pointing in to B? 1, 2. How many are pointing in to C?
2, 1.
Just 1.
D is 2 and E is 1.
You said D is 2 and E is 1.
What day do you want to be my detention buddy? Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, I guess. Get a baby for. We're only they'll only miss the one staff meeting. They won't do it that Monday every month, but they'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the rest. And I'd rather we do it with you than some of the others.
I'd rather do it on a Wednesday because then my tutoring kids can just
You
come
do it every
down.
Wednesday? Not for the month? Or try and just do the quarter.
For the month.
Quarter. So it'd be November and December. Yes,
We're
and you'll
only here
find
till
it.
4:30, right?
Yes.
I should be able to. She wants to be my detention buddy.
Let's go.
Okay, so what I want you to do, take a couple of minutes, try this, and we'll go over it. Okay, try this on your own, see what you can do. Okay.
I'll be able to do it.
Oh boy.
Number one, you want us to name both of them.
If there's
One.
more than one, yes, you must list them all. So if it says A is incident 2, if there is more than one of them, you must list them all.
Look at this.
We're almost done. Tom Pat, sitting there doing nothing in your life is not going to fix it. Come on, friend. You may have missed the beginning part, but you can at least do what you know. And it's how many you're going into it. Okay. If you need to ask questions of your friends beside you, that's okay. Just kind of leave me off limits for now. See what you can do.
So we found one path from A to B, or we keep going?
Just one. If you want to list more than one, that's fine, but you only need one. One more to list here. And look these backwards. So in is what's pointing in, out is what's going away. So you have the right numbers there, you can just have them flip flopped.
Does it really say find the path from A to D?
Huh?
Does it really say find the path to A to D?
Uh-huh.
That's gonna piss me off.
There's several of them.
I mean, you go
I did
straight
too.
to A to D.
Uh-huh.
ABD, ACED. ABD.
And because it doesn't say it has to be a specific length, any of the options work.
Doesn't mean there's any side surface.
How are we supposed to do example 2?
I didn't say do example
Oh.
two.
I thought you wanted to
So what about 1E?
Do any cycles exist? Can you leave a letter and get back to that letter anywhere in this graph?
There's a yes you can.
Yes, you can.
Oh, I thought it meant like.
There's actually 2 in there.
I thought it meant like you go through every letter and get back to them.
No.
Oh.
You don't have to go to every place in this one. Okay. Yeah, there's actually 2 cycles in this one.
I've been sitting. Everybody's quiet. Like, it's just,
Go sit over here.
No, don't go sit over there because she's really concentrating today and like kicking butt over here. Don't go sit over there because I need her to not lose that.
she don't really.
What?
Maya.
Yes.
Yeah, she don't really.
No.
I feel like Friday.
It does. I kind of wish it was, but I kind of wish it's not because I got a 6.5 hour trip to Pennsylvania right after school on Friday.
Wow.
Because my dad's turning 50 tomorrow. And we're having a surprise birthday party for him on Sunday.
Oh, that's lit.
6. And my daughter's 6, so 6.5 hours to Pennsylvania is going to be like torture.
Oh boy.
Right.
You better bring a whole bunch of
All
time.
right. So before we all get off track, let's get back on this. Okay. A is incident 2. Remember, incident 2 means what is A going to?
A is going to D.
Okay. A goes to B, A goes to C, and A goes to D. On your test, yes, you will have to list every last one of them. Okay. Is she gonna get angry?
She probably thinks
Hi. Okay, A is incident from. So when it's incident from, it goes, what goes into A?
CD.
C and E. Okay. Be careful on your test how they list these. Okay. When we did the previous example, we talked out and then in. Look what they did here.
in and out.
They did in and then out. So you've got to be careful what they're listing you first.
2 and
So-
1.
A, how many come in?
2.
How many go out?
2.
3.
3.
Sorry, I didn't see the.
Okay. In is 2, out is 3.
Okay, so I was doing it right.
Okay. Be careful. That one, most people miss the A to C one because it's
right
not
there.
quite
Right.
as close to the dot as the other ones are.
Right.
Okay, so don't forget that one. Okay. B, how many go in?
1.
How many come out?
1. That's how it should go.
C, how many go in?
1.
How many come out?
2.
3.
3.
Oh,
Oh,
this daggone A to C, like that's what really messed me up.
because it's not that straight line.
No, that's not straight.
D, how many go in?
4,
How many come out?
9. That's a problem.
4, and nothing comes out.
That's an addiction.
Okay? E, how many come in?
1.
How many go out?
2. Okay.
Nathan, give me a path from A to D.
A, C, D.
Okay? He said A, C, E, D.
Miss Smith,
Yes.
could you have went to A to D and then wrote a length of 1?
Yeah. Jonathan said, oh, guess what? I can go straight from A to D.
Did I just do it? I said that.
I know, it's still your glory.
I know.
Oh, no.
You didn't.
It's still
I mean,
no
it's in the video, so. That's why.
So true. Okay. Let's just get one more. Who's got one more?
ACD, ACD, ACD.
Why don't you just go
ACD.
ABD? ABD.
Okay. ACD.
ABD.
We got to get Maya in there because she's A to B and B to D. I don't remember how many I had listed here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them listed.
You straight up lying.
Yes.
What is it? Like
There's some longer ones. So you can go like
Well, you see,
You can-
D.
A, C, E, A, C, D.
I just said.
Yeah. Okay.
She said okay.
Do any cycles exist? I'm going to tell you this.
yeah.
Yes. Who's got a cycle?
I do. It's ACEA. And that equals 3.
A, C, E, A. A to C, C to E, E to A.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Your other one is A to C and C to A. I'm sorry, but if they're going to give me an easy way out like that, I'm going to take it. That's the one I would have put. He's like, y'all are lazy.
Work smarter, not harder.
That's right. Work smarter, not harder. Didn't you ever hear the phrase, why read? All right. Consider the digraph of the arc set. Okay. So what this is telling you is you have a line that goes from B to W. You have a line that goes from B to Z. You have a line that goes from W to Z. Okay? I want the out degree. If I want the out degree, the lines are going out. So if the lines are going out,
B is on the side.
V should be your,
Second. Wait.
I want the lines that are going out.
Out is first.
Out means I'm looking for the ones that come first. So how many of these does V come first? 2. V comes first here and here. Z. How many times does Z come first?
Always.
No,
Period.
It's 2.
It's 2. She says always. Period.
Oh, shut up, Zoe.
Okay. Now I'm talking in degrees. So these are the lines that are coming in and pointing at the letter. So this means my letter should come second. How many times does the letter V come second?
0.
0. How many times does the letter Z come second?
3.
3.
3.
Here.
Here, and here. Okay, let me tell you this. If you don't like to do this from the arc set, draw yourself a picture.
That's what I was
That's
gonna
right.
Okay, so that's fine. I need to have a point V, W, X, Y, and Z. Okay, draw your picture now. My first one goes from V to W. Here's my line. My second one goes from V to Z. There's my line. W to Z. There's my line. X to Y. There's my line. X to Z. There's my line. Y to W, there's my line. Z to Y, there's my line. And Z to W, there's my line. Now you can look at this and go, okay, if I go to V, I've got 2 coming out, nothing going in. If I go to Z, over here, I have 3 coming in and 2 going out. So if you struggle just getting it from the arc set, draw yourself a picture. Okay. Where do you see these? The news. When they talk about traffic flow.
Traffic on I-85.
Right. This is your traffic report. Telephone traffic. If I call Zoe, I'm the starting person and Zoe's my ending person. Okay? Tournaments.
What did you say? You just said tournaments?
Tournaments. Tournaments.
You
So,
said tournaments.
I can do stuff like this. So, Lexington. Lexington plays West. They play Thomasville. They play North. They play East. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. So, in the game between Lexington and West, who usually wins?
West.
West. So, West is your starting. Lexington is your ending. Okay?
Come on, we'll take
In
all
the game versus Lexington and Thomasville. Who usually wins?
Thomasville.
Oh, man.
Lexington doesn't win nothing. Period. There you go. It's all just going to Lexington.
Exactly.
Come on now.
Yeah,
Who did we beat?
Come on, just point them
we
all to
did
Lexington.
beat
What
No, we did not beat North.
We ain't never beat North.
Yeah,
Just
no,
point
we
them
didn't
all
beat
to
North.
We didn't beat North?
No.
Yeah.
We didn't beat East either?
They usually
I think-
beat
no, we did.
We beat East?
I don't think so.
We're going to go with we beat East.
Someone gonna comment on this
We
video.
do.
Okay? When West plays Thomasville, who usually wins?
Thomasville.
Thomasville? Thomasville beats
Boy,
West.
Thomasville undefeated.
If West plays North, who usually wins?
North.
North, all right.
North and win all their games.
What about East and North?
North.
North.
I got a whole army on that bitch.
Language friends.
Sorry.
Oh.
Thomasville, if they play North.
Thomasville.
Thomasville usually wins.
She depends on what we're talking about.
Right. 'Cause
Yeah.
What about
Kansas football.
Thomasville and East?
Thomasville.
Okay, Thomasville.
Let's
So,
say basketball.
I can give you a graph like this, and I can say how many games did Lexington win?
One.
Lexington would have won 1 game,
Maybe.
and they would lose
5.
3. We're just looking at this map. Okay, East wins how many games?
0.
0. And they would lose
3.
3 of them.
Where is East? Is it east of the middle of nowhere?
It's in Thomasville. Yeah.
So I can use this stuff to represent tournaments and games that are happening. Okay. All right. So the last little bit we've got to do. You're gonna draw pictures again. Okay. So
I can't stand.
you go to bed at night, lay your little head down on your pillow,
Bruh.
dream sweet dreams about math class.
No.
Okay, you thought.
No.
Okay. What's the first thing you do in the morning of the things that are listed?
Wake up.
Right. First thing I gotta do is I gotta start my day. I need to start. And when I start, I wake up.
You see, I don't wake up. I jump up.
You jump up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I be
Just because y'all are seniors and this is about to happen in your life when you go to college. So, some of you are going to have an 8 o'clock in the morning class.
What? Y'all don't understand. We might as well wake up at the same time we wake up.
You're going to roll over at 7:55 and go, oh crap.
Me.
I'm going to be in class in 5 minutes. So guess what?
I jump.
You're going to wake up You're gonna grab your bag and you're gonna go to school.
So we skipping brushing teeth.
Okay?
Yes.
So you're skipping brushing
brush
your
your teeth
teeth.
on the road.
You're skipping cleaning yourself and making yourself smell good.
We still on the job.
You're not even
But this
dressed.
ain't
Okay? You're not even getting dressed. You're going to class in your PJs.
What does that say?
Pancake school bag. What?
does
First
that
off, pick yourself up.
Bag. You're grabbing your bag. You're grabbing your book bag. You're not even getting yourself dressed in the morning. You're going in your Winnie the Pooh PJs.
That's it, Nate.
Okay. In other words, please get dressed in the morning. Okay.
Nobody want to see your little tater tot.
You know, some of you are going to be those responsible people.
Me.
Okay. You're going to be responsible. You're going to get up in the morning
No.
That's a little.
and you're going to go ahead and you're going to shower and make yourself smell all pretty. And then you're going to remember, oh, I should eat something. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to have breakfast.
I'm gonna have brunch.
Okay. Oh, I guess we should get dressed because if you're getting a shower, you're naked. So let's get dressed.
That's breakfast.
You're eating breakfast naked. Okay.
I'm gonna do that.
You get yourself dressed.
Oh, we know you did.
Okay. Then you're gonna go to school.
Brush teeth.
Who the heck needs to do that?
To be honest, we
Get
know
some
how to get on
mouthwash.
brush your teeth.
Okay.
Right. Those brush
All right. So then you're gonna be super extra responsible. So you're gonna shower, breakfast, get dressed, brush your teeth,
Now, why would you do that?
and then go to school.
Man.
Why? Okay.
See,
So you can use these graphs to show what you do on a daily basis.
I'm put college life right now.
Okay. College life, right? I remember those days.
I would have did this different.
Well, I just want to get to college.
I just make sure I shower.
At one.
I just shower before I went to bed. That way I could roll out of bed. first
Right,
thing in the morning and
same.
just
What?
go.
Why don't you brush your teeth while you shower? You got to on.
How many of you leave your toothbrush and toothpaste in the shower and brush your teeth while you're in there?
No, I don't understand that. Who does that? Come and smack y'all.
I do it when I'm in a rush. I do it. I got 2 arms. Why not you?
Right. You take
First of all, I
you
take
take
shower.
one and
Then I
you
get
scrub
out.
yourself with soap while you're brushing your teeth. And
I take my time.
If I'm in a rush, I'ma do it.
Music is my type of thing.
so Devin's in the shower for about 4 hours jamming out to some music.
It does. Like,
He's in there until the water gets cold and you can't warm it back up anymore.
Like that. All
All right. The last thing you're going to need to know how to do is how to draw a project diagram. Okay. The most important thing in a project diagram, you must have a starting point. So you're going to have start. Everybody has to start. Start somewhere. Okay? Your start then leads into things. Okay? Of these 5 tasks, what do you think my start's going to lead into, just looking at it? Of these 5 tasks right here, these 5.
X.
And?
W.
I agree with X. So, start's going to lead into X.
These texts are just
Oh,
random
and why?
letters. I don't
Because you have
get
to
it.
start somewhere.
And Y. The ones that are blank, that don't lead, have anything leading into it, are your starting points. So, from start, that's going to lead you into point X and point Y. Once you have those, you're now going to start there and do the rest of these relations that you see here.
X goes to W and Y goes to V.
Okay, hold on. So I want to start at the letters that I already have. So my first letter that I have here is X. According to these relations, what does X lead into?
W, sorry.
Okay, X goes into W and U. So we need to have an arrow that points to point U, and we need another arrow that goes to point W. Okay, cross them off as you draw them, just like I told you before in chapter 5 and 6. Cross them off so you know you already took care of it. Okay. Y goes to U.
Oh, well,
So I don't need to redraw U. I just need to draw the arrow.
many things stop coming to me.
This time I don't have B, so I do need to draw myself a B. So your graph must have a start, and all good things have to come to an
And that's that big.
Okay, so when I'm trying to figure out what goes to the end, anything that does not have anything coming out of it will lead to the end. So X has lines coming out. Y has lines coming out. But if I look at U, there's stuff going in, but nothing comes out. So U goes to the end. W has nothing coming out. So it also goes to the end. And V. And that's your picture of the diagram.
We're gonna be long ones like this on the test.
There's going to be one almost identical to one of these.
I like that
videos.
college life one better.
You like the college life one better? What, the bag in school?
Yeah. The rest of like the area.
That was me almost on a daily. My calc class was at 8 a.m. Monday, Wednesday,
Girl,
Friday,
sorry.
and Tuesday it was at 7 a.m.
Oh, 7.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you gotta wake up at 6:55. What?
I mean, listen, my dorm was here, and it was maybe a 5-minute walk from my dorm room to class.
So you be there.
So
all
I literally rolled out of bed at like 7:45,
right. 5 minutes.
walked my little fancy butt in my PJs to class, and then at 9 o'clock, I went back to bed because I didn't have a class till noon.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's just do this top one, and then I'm going to let you guys work on your homework, work on your projects, whatever you need to do. Okay. So again, I must have a start. This time my start leads to what?
B, D, E, and F.
Just B, D, and E. F
Oh,
has
I'm
something
sorry.
written
I
here.
thought. Never mind.
You're fine. B, it goes to D, and it goes to E. Fabulous. Okay, so we now use those points to branch off. What does B lead into?
C.
Okay, my first one is B goes to C. Where else does it go? F. Where else does it go?
G.
G. Okay. Does B go anywhere else? No. The next point that I started with was D. Where does D go?
G.
To G. D only goes to G. I already have it, so I just need to draw my arrow. My last one in that first set of points is E. Where does E go?
C.
E goes to C. I already have C, so I just need to put my arrow in. Okay, so now you took care of B, D, and E. So now we're going to shift over to my next set of points in the
F and
middle.
H.
Did I just lose you?
Yeah.
I was trying to fix my
Hold on.
arrows. My
You're
arrows
fine.
are great.
Where'd I lose you? Talk to me.
Okay, so we going D goes to G and D goes to E. Is that it?
Okay, D goes to G and E goes to C.
Okay.
Okay,
I just said it wrong.
so now we're in the second set of points. C. Where does C go?
The A.
C goes to A. I don't have a point A, so I need to draw it.
Watch.
Okay. The next one down in this middle part is F. Where does F go?
F goes to A.
F goes to A.
I said H.
Somebody
Oh, it
said
does
A.
go to A.
And it also goes to H. Well, I don't have a point H, so I've got to put a point H on there. This one is kind of crazy. Okay. The last relation I have is what?
G to H.
G to H. So I need to draw a line that goes from G to H.
Good here.
Okay? Don't forget, all good things must come to an end. What points have nothing coming out? A, H, anything else?
E. Oh, sorry. E does have a
Okay, so B has 3 things coming out, D has 1, E has 1, C has 1, F has 2, G has 1. So the only 2 that need to go to the N are A and H. Questions?
No.
Okay. Your homework is on Canvas. Worksheet 8.2.